Parents buy me apartment and then let my brother throw massive parties in my home, so people call cops. The police lights flashed red and blue through my living room window, painting my life in chaos. My dream apartment, the one my parents gifted me with proud smiles, was now a battleground of strangers, spilled drinks, and my brother's smug laughter. I stood frozen, wondering how my sanctuary became a circus and why my family let it happen. My name is Ellie, and at 24 I thought I'd finally made it. After years of scraping by, working late shifts at a coffee shop while studying for my degree, my parents surprised me with the keys to a sleek, modern apartment in the city. "You've earned this, sweetheart," Mom said, her eyes misty with pride. Dad hugged me tight, whispering, "This is your fresh start." It was perfect hardwood floors, floor-to-ceiling windows, a cozy nook for my books. I spent weeks decorating, hanging fairy lights and framing photos of us as a family. It was mine, or so I thought. Enter Jake, my 21-year-old brother, the golden child who could do no wrong. Jake was charming, reckless, and perpetually unemployed, floating through life on Mom and Dad's endless leniency. When he showed up at my door a month after I moved in, duffel bag in hand, I should have known trouble was coming. "Just crashing for a bit," he said with that lopsided grin that always got him out of messes. Mom called later, her voice soft but firm. "Let him stay. Ellie, he's finding himself." I didn't argue. I never did. The first party was small, just a few of Jake's friends sprawled on my couch, laughing too loud and leaving beer cans everywhere. I gritted my teeth, cleaned up, and told myself it was a one-time thing. But one night became every weekend. Jake's friends multiplied, random strangers filled my home, blasting music, breaking glasses, and once, someone vomited in my potted plant. I'd come home from work to find my apartment trashed, my books knocked over, my privacy invaded. "Jake, this is my place," I'd snap. He'd just shrug, saying, "Chill, sis. It's just a party." I tried talking to Mom and Dad. "He's young. Ellie," Mom said, her tone dismissive. "Let him have fun." Dad was worse. "You've got a whole apartment. Share a little." Share, this wasn't sharing. It was a takeover. My home, my safe space, was slipping away, and my parents, my biggest supporters, were enabling it. I felt like a guest in my own life. One night, it went too far. I came home at midnight, exhausted from a double shift, to find my apartment packed with over 50 people. The air was thick with smoke, and my coffee table was a makeshift beer pong arena. Jake was in the center, holding court like a frat king, while strangers danced on my rug and rifled through my fridge. "Jake," I shouted, pushing through the crowd. He barely looked up. "Relax, Ellie. It's under control." Control. A neighbor banged on the door, yelling about the noise. Another called the cops. When the police arrived, their flashlights cutting through the haze, I felt my stomach drop. "Ma'am, we've had multiple complaints," an officer said, eyeing the chaos. Jake, of course, was nowhere to be found. He'd slipped out the back. I was left to explain, my voice shaking, as strangers scattered and my parents' gift became a crime scene. The next morning, I sat in my trashed apartment, staring at a broken picture frame of me and Mom. My anger boiled over, but beneath it was something sharper: betrayal. Why didn't my parents care? Why was Jake's fun more important than my peace? I called them, my voice steady despite the tears. "This stops now. Jake needs to go." Mom sighed. "Ellie, don't be dramatic. He's your brother." Dad chimed in. "You're being selfish. Family helps family." Selfish? I'd given Jake a chance, dozens of them. I'd cleaned up his messes, endured the noise, the disrespect, the cops. But I was done. I changed the locks that day. When Jake came back, banging on the door, I didn't open it. "Ellie, come on," he yelled. I stood firm, my heart pounding. "Find somewhere else," I said through the door. He cursed, but I didn't budge. For the first time, I chose myself. Mom and Dad were furious. "You're tearing this family apart," Mom said, her voice cold. Dad didn't speak to me for weeks. Jake moved back home, and I heard through a cousin he was throwing parties there now. My apartment was quiet again, but the silence felt heavy. I'd reclaim my space, but at what cost? Months passed, and I rebuilt my sanctuary. I repainted the walls, replaced the rug, and started hosting small dinners with friends who respected my home. But the rift with my family lingered. One evening, Mom called. "We miss you," she said softly. I wanted to scream, to ask why they'd let Jake ruin everything. But instead, I said, "I miss you too." We talked, and for the first time, I told her how much it hurt, how their favoritism made me feel invisible. She listened, and though she didn't apologize, I saw a crack in her defenses. Jake showed up a week later, sober and sheepish. "I messed up. Ellie," he said. "I didn't realize how bad it got. I didn't forgive him right away. Trust takes time, but I let him in for coffee." We talked, really talked, about boundaries, respect, and what it means to share a family without losing yourself. My apartment is mine again, but the scars remain. I learned that love doesn't mean saying yes to everything, and family isn't about blind loyalty. It's about respect, balance, and sometimes standing up for what's right, even when it hurts. What do you think? Was I wrong to lock Jake out? Or was it the only way to protect my home? Share your thoughts. I'd love to hear where you stand. In